Morning. Still gotta wash this tractor today, which I don't want to do. It's not warm outside and it's not sunny. So first thing this morning, I'm going to just take the shop vac and clean the cab out. We'll work on that. Try and let stuff warm up outside a little bit. This afternoon, I think I'm actually going out doing some sales calls with my agronomist. So probably only working on this tractor here for a little while this morning, which means by 10 o'clock or so, better start power washing if I'm going to do it today. Okay, got the floor swept up. Definitely needs wiped off, or I don't know, maybe I should just pull it out to power wash it off, clean it up a little bit better. We'll see. So I'm trying to figure out which ones of these wires that are everywhere in this cab are necessary to be in here for spring work, and which ones maybe I can take out and get rid of here. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave the camera screen in here because I'm going to pull the cameras off the grain cart and put them on the planter, I think. Maybe not, I don't know. But I usually have cameras on the planter anyway, and so that screen's already there. It's in a good mounting spot. I might leave it there. But the problem is there's another box that I have to have mounted up here for the planter. So if I leave that there, then I got to find somewhere else to put this other one. This definitely cannot stay because I have something else that goes there. The radio I don't really need for in the spring. And this box is for the grain cart, which also doesn't really need to be there. So maybe I should just take all that stuff out. I don't know. Yeah. We'll figure something out here. And then I got to figure out what all these are for. This is for the camera, which, yeah. This stays. This is for our anhydrous bar. This is just a 12-volt outlet plug. So, I don't know. I'm going to go through stuff here and see if I can't clean it up just a little bit, organize stuff. Well, I've got it cleaned up a little bit. Well, that's the pile of wires that I get to take out of the cab for now. These ones here are going to stay. This big one is actually for the planter, fold box, and then some other stuff there for our anhydrous bar. And then the camera wires over here. So I'm going to take these two completely out of the cab because I don't need them. And I got to take this bracket off as well. And that'll make it look a little better in here at least before I put all the planter monitors in it. Okay. Much better. That mount up there is where I put my iPad. Well, when we're running the grain cart or for the planter, I use that. I've got a 2020 precision monitor that I'll mount down in this corner. Obviously my Green Star monitor that'll get mounted down there, along with I mount a brown box next to it to control my fertilizer on the planter. So we got all kinds of monitors that are coming back into this tractor, but for right now we're going to take out what we can, or just leave it out I guess, and get everything cleaned up real good. And we'll put those in when we hook the planter up. Okay, now that I got the cab cleaned up a little bit, I haven't wiped stuff down yet and anything, but that's okay because I got a lot to do yet. Anyway, I'm going to back the tractor outside. We're going to do a quick power wash out here so that the heavy dirt is outside and not on my shop floor. And but it'll be relatively quick and just get the heavy stuff off, and then I'll probably bring it back in and we'll do a final power wash and clean up in here. Which isn't ideal, but it's cold outside and I don't have a ton of time. I got about an hour and a half before I've got to be ready to go do seed stuff. So yeah, we're gonna do, like I said, quick wash outside and bring it back. We'll be done. Good news. Tractor started this morning. On the bright side, it's not as cold as it was. I wish it was sunny, but we'll take it. And the water won't freeze on the tractor, which is also helpful. It does appear that I need a little more diesel fuel, or I'm not going to have hot water though, so I'm going to get a can and fill that up. Five gallons. Yeah, this one's a two-hand job. Okay, that's enough for today. Or for what I'm gonna do today, I guess. Can you guys see anything? Yeah, me neither. Kind of power washing blind here. All right, it is getting cleaner. I feel like this tractor was a lot dirtier than the last one that I did. Especially tires and rims. There was a lot of mud, especially between these back tires here. So that took a little while. It is not done and clean by any means, but I do want to start it up and turn the front tires the opposite direction so I can get in behind on this side and on the front on the other side. And then I'll probably run out of time here for, at least right now. I don't know if I'll have more time later this afternoon or not, but it is getting better, so that's a good thing. All right, I guess I'm done power washing for now. It's not bad. Definitely got some spots to touch up and need to foam it and stuff, but I'll do that in the shop. So I'm gonna let it sit here for now. May get a chance to come back later this afternoon, do a little bit more, and it's not gonna freeze between now and then, so we'll just let stuff sit out, and we'll put it away when I get back from doing my seed stuff. I also have to clean up the floor in here, it looks like. Well, I am back from lunch and selling some seed. Didn't take as long as I thought it might. A couple of the guys that I had planned to go and see told me they weren't around, or just couldn't make it. So no big deal. Did find a couple of guys though to talk to, and went well. I had to follow up with some people in another week or two. But anyway, back to the tractor. I'm gonna use my floor sweeper over there and clean up the floor in here before I bring stuff back inside. And then I'm gonna go out and just kind of walk around the tractor, see if I want to power wash outside some more or just bring it in and finish it all inside here. Okay, so just walking around here, it really isn't that bad. So I'm gonna pull it in the shop. We'll do the rest of the cleaning inside. I do need to clean up that mess out there though. Yummy. Get some nice soupy mud to clean up. All right, well, apparently there's something wrong with our power washer because it doesn't want to go, and I checked the circuit breaker and it tripped it, and it doesn't want to go. So that's a problem, and that's a 50 amp breaker. Technically only supposed to have a 30 on this, so something is clearly wrong in there. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna have to do a little maintenance on the power washer, I guess, and our concrete's gonna stay dirty. Well, I've spent a little while with a hose in here, and actually we're in good shape. I think I've got most of the mud and dirt off the tires and rims, and especially the back end of the tractor here that was pretty bad. Stuff gets in all these hydraulic valve blocks and the wire harnesses and back in there and stuff, and I've got her pretty well cleaned out, so that's good. I'm gonna be done washing here for today. Let the tractor dry out, and then when we get back to working on this, I'll get the foam cannon out, we'll foam it and scrub it down with a rag and then wash it off, and should be good and clean. In the meantime, I do need to work on that power washer, but I'm not going to do it right now. I decided that wet power washer or wet hands and electricity don't go together, which I know I would unplug it to work on it, but you still got to test stuff, and I don't really know what's wrong with it. So kind of seems like there's a short somewhere because it's flipping a breaker as soon as I touch the switch. So we'll just have to take things apart, look and see if there's anything obviously wrong with it. But yeah, so for now and the rest of the day, I'm gonna go keep working on some inventory stuff and some computer records on this chemical stuff. Maybe I'll show you my spreadsheet a little bit more, and I gotta go out and see how many gallons of fertilizer we got, different chemicals and stuff that we carried over from last year, which is a fair amount because we didn't plant all of our corn, so we didn't use all of the starter and the chemicals and stuff that we had on hand for that. So that's the plan for the rest of the day. All right, I'm working on my chemical and fertilizer cost spreadsheet here a little bit and trying to update some of the numbers. And I had gotten a question last week. Somebody wanted to see a little bit more of this from what I did show before. So I'm gonna just kind of go over it with you a little bit here. So I've just made this in Google Sheets, and I blanked out the names of the companies that we buy stuff from, but basically what I do is I list the products that we're using over here, and then I've got their use rate for ones that are applicable. Some of them vary depending on what we're talking about, like surfactants and the fertilizers and stuff. And then the units, whether it's quart per acre, pint, ounces, fluid ounces, whatever. And then this column here is kind of how much we would need to do all of our acres if we were doing that. You know, so basically I take the number of acres that we're planting to a crop, like this chemical here, Acuron, is our corn herbicide. So 2.5 quart times the number of acres equals we need this many gallons, because this is the gallons, this is what it's sold as. This quantity column is where I'll put in what we're actually going to purchase or what I want to buy. You know, so like here we need 929, but I got to figure out how much we've got left, and maybe we only need to buy 750 gallons of it or something. And then this will tell me how many acres the quantity that we buy will cover, so I can make sure I've got enough to cover what we need. And basically I just take the cost per unit, in this case a gallon, and this column here calculates out what the cost per acre is based on the use rate, and then it will take the total based on the quantity times this cost and make me a total of how much that's going to cost. So like down here, I've got, say, 25 gallons of Prosaro at $207 equals this total, and this is the cost per acre then, $10.55. So I'll do that. This is one company that we've gotten prices from. I'm waiting on prices from 2 more. We'll fill those in there, and then I can easily compare what this one costs for this chemical versus this one or this one. And then over here I've just kind of added some columns to list what we've got for carryover product, just for my figuring purposes and stuff. So that's the spreadsheet that I've got. It works really well for it. I am pretty good at Excel, or now Google Sheets is what I use mostly because it's so much more accessible. I'll show you some other stuff that I've done here over the course of the winter when I get to it, but I've got some for seed placement and stuff, and what varieties we plant where, and I list it all out, and I'm very specific ahead of time. It calculates out how much starter I need, how much nitrogen or anhydrous we're going to need for the fields, and all that kind of stuff. So excuse me. It's pretty impressive what we can do and how that technology helps us. But I have to go out here and check and see some of our inventory stuff. So let's review that. So this dark green tank here has ATS in it, ammonium thiosulfate. You can see the level is right there. There's not actually a gauge on that tank to tell me how much that is, but this tank right next to it happens to have one, and we're going to call it about 1,850 gallons of ATS. So we'll write that in the spreadsheet. I'm gonna have to get a tape measure to see what how much those add up to, but those 2 tanks have starter in it. That tank's got 28. There's not very much in there. The level's way down at the bottom, but basically I need to get a tape measure, measure the liquid level, and then do some math to calculate out how much is in those tanks. You can hear our generator running over there. Phil's moving some grain. I don't know what. Well, it's got to be corn because that's all that's in that grain system. He's been hauling stuff. I know if you watch other ag YouTubers, you probably see them hauling corn and grain and stuff in the winter, and we are doing the same. I just don't do it, so I don't show it very much. Phil takes care of all of that. So this shuttle here is glyphosate, and we're going to consider that one empty. There's just a little bit in there, but it's not worth putting in the inventory. So this one is atrazine, which we use on our corn, and I've got to find the gauge, but this one's pretty full. Level looks like it's up here, so I'll see how many gallons are in there if I can find it. Okay, so the gauge is kind of back in that corner. It looked like about 250 gallons of that. This province 2 is insecticide. Appears we have 5 gallons of that. This shuttle is Acuron, and it appears to be almost empty. Yep, you can see the level is right there. That can't be 20 gallons in there. That's not very much, so we aren't going to worry too much about that. This shuttle is my boron, and I don't know where the level is on that. Can't be a whole lot of it in here either. So it's just in that bottom section there. It's about 50 gallons is what I figured is in there. So we've got 50 gallons of boron, maybe 25 gallons of Acuron, 5 gallons of insecticide, and 250 gallons of atrazine. Okay, well, I updated my carryover numbers here and what we've got left and how many acres that'll do. So like the Acuron, we've only got 25 gallons, that's only 40 acres, but the atrazine, we've got enough for 1,000 acres. So then that lets me fill in about how much we actually need to buy and start filling in some of these other numbers and stuff here. Obviously, I've got to figure out some more stuff with which ones of these, because a lot of these products are the same thing, like Authority XLR, Authority First, Prefix, the Matador. We're not going to use all of those. We're going to use one of those on our soybean acres. It's just a question of how many acres do we want to do with each one, or which one of those are we going to go with. So Dad and I will have that discussion. We'll figure stuff out. A lot of it depends on this cost per acre, and we need to get some more quotes around before we can really make those decisions. So that's kind of the boring stuff that we're doing on the computer and trying to, the management decisions we make throughout the winter here. It's kind of helps break stuff up a little bit. I'm back and forth between this stuff on the computer and working in the shop there, cleaning up tractors and changing oil and that kind of stuff. So with that, I think that's going to be the end of today's video. I'm about ready to head home here. It's a little after 5, so hope you guys have a good night. Tomorrow, Dad and I are heading to Fort Wayne, to the Fort Wayne Farm Show. I'm going to do my best to make a good video out of that. I just don't know how much people are going to want to be on camera, so we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, it should be a good day regardless. Maybe we'll make it back early enough in the afternoon. I'll get a little time to work in the shop tomorrow. I don't know. That remains to be seen. But we're going to go have some fun there and check out some new stuff. And we're not really looking for anything, but it's always fun to go and look, right? So anyway, you guys hit me up with some comments down below. If you got any questions, hit the like, subscribe buttons if you haven't already. I appreciate all of you that have, and I will see you tomorrow. See ya.